Okay, so this is Anand Hasbi, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Rambling of an Analyst. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you so very much for all the comments, the feedbacks, the thumbs up which I received yesterday. I'd like to give a shout out to Putra Milan, Putra Haizriel, Fatiha, and also Hafiz. Thank you so very much for all the kind words. These are the things which really keep me going and really want me to share even some more. Okay, so in today's episode, yesterday I talked a little bit about why is it important for us to prepare. Every time when we prepare to take an action, and after we prepare taking the action, once we take that particular action, we will be more efficient, or our results will be much better after lots and lots and lots of preparation before taking that particular action. But having said that, let's be very realistic. Okay, every time when I started maybe 3 or 4 startup ventures, right? And during my time starting up all of these ventures, I realized one common thread which happened time and time again. And the common thread is that most of the time we know what to do, but having said that, there is no motivation level towards doing the right thing. So what tends to happen is we spend a lot of time doing perfectly the wrong thing over and over again. And that is one of the reasons why we say that we want a particular result, but our actions does not reflect that particular our actions do not reflect what we want from that particular result. So in this episode today, I want to talk a little bit about how I get motivation in doing the right thing. So number 1, we talked about preparation. Number 2, we already know we are pumped up, we want to take action, but sometimes the motivation level is not there. So let me share with you a couple of stories, and also I'm going to share with you one framework that will help you get motivated towards taking the right action. Okay, so 2 stories over here. The first story is back in the day, I used to be a gamer, and there was this particular game called Mass Effect. If any of you guys never heard of that particular game, don't worry, it's a very obscure RPG game. So yeah, I like to play a lot of obscure games, but every once in a while, so this is a sci-fi game, or this is a space type game. So every once in a while, I'll come to this particular level, right? And I'm prepared, and I feel I have the right armor. I feel I have the right weapons. I fight the boss, right? I die, and then after that, I try again, playing the same level over and over and over again, and I keep failing and failing and failing and failing and failing. It comes to a stage when I get so annoyed, right? But I really, really, really want to pass that particular level. So what do? Is that I will play that particular game up to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes during Bulan Puasa, I still remember I will play the game, and then there's this thing called sahur, which happens around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll have my sahur, and then I'll sleep. So sometimes I can play the game up to 6 in the morning, and sometimes I can opt not to sleep at all. Okay, this is how we get the level of motivation. That's story number 1 on motivation. Okay, story number 2 on motivation is back in the day when I started my app development company. What happened was, to tell you guys the truth, I was so motivated after watching kids, right, 10 years old, 11-year-old, creating apps like farting noise apps, and they were making 10, 20,000 US dollars per week. And I still remembered the day when I read this particular article about this Vietnamese guy. He created this game called Flappy Bird, and he made $15,000 per week, right? So if you times it by 4, that's 60,000. And then you times it, that would be 1 month, right? And then, if we convert it to Malaysian ringgit, it will be a lot of money. In my mind, if we create an asset, and that asset gives us recurring income, That's a dream for any investors, you know. So instead of investing chunks of money in shares, we create our own assets, and that particular assets will give us 15,000 per week. So that was the thought process I had in my head, right? That I really wanted to create that game. But at that point in time, I still remembered, as I told you in yesterday's episode, I was studying for my CFA, I was working, and I was crazy enough to even study for my MBA. But what helped me, gave me that time towards creating that game, was that reasons, right? So in example number one, in that particular game, I had a strong enough reason to I guess to defeat that particular boss. And after having strong reasons, I can opt not to even sleep for weeks just to level up and defeat that particular boss for that level. For example number two, in my startup venture, right, I saw 10-year-old kids making $10,000-$15,000. And at a point in time, I wanted to have that digital nomad lifestyle, right? And the reasons were so clear in my head. And I knew that I wanted it. And I could actually taste and touch it. And that's one of the reasons why these are the reasons to help propel me to move forward. So the underlying thread over here is reasons. It's not the hows that will help push us towards our success. Rather, it's the reasons. Only with strong reasons, we get the motivation. And with strong motivation, coupled with the how, that's where we can meet success. So there was a question with regards from Putra Milan with regards to whether it's possible to find stocks that will double in value. For this, I will say a resounding yes. And one of the reasons why is that as long as people consume things and as long as there are businesses that makes profit, there will be definitely listed companies which will also increase in value. So long as we are consuming and so long there are businesses, there's definitely stocks that will help, that will also increase in value. So over here, I'm going to say a resounding yes. There are stocks in the market that will definitely double in this year. Okay, so that's number one. And I think I've proven it. We could see that last year, even though there was doom and gloom, look at companies like Google, doubled. Look at companies like Amazon, doubled. Look at Malaysian companies. I already talked about this in my previous episode. Awan Biru Technologies, 10 times. Look at the poster boys. At this point in time, so many people are going online to buy their stuff. And who are the indirect beneficiaries? The poster boys. Those guys doubled. I talked about them in my previous episodes. And on top of that, for fun, I even talked about roti canai manufacturers. It's called Kawan Food Berhad. If you watch that particular episode, it tripled. So over here in Malaysia, there is definitely shares which will allow us to increase our net worth. But sometimes to take the action, it is difficult. And I know why. Growing up in Asia, sometimes we have to listen to mom, we have to listen to dad, we have to be a good son, and sometimes we lose our self-identity. Over here, if what I want to say is sometimes if we do not have the motivation to act, right? So right now, I want all of us to first write down what do we really want. After we have written down what do we really want, write down the reasons as to why we want it. I want to repeat my statement again, is with reasons that will give us fuel, right? I've seen, during this PKP season, I've seen people which didn't graduate from university, didn't graduate from high school. They actually started businesses, and these businesses made millions, right? You can actually even YouTube them. There's a lot of people during these PKP seasons which made millions. But the one underlying common thread for these guys, I realized, is that they had strong enough reasons to succeed. Okay, so sometimes I know being born in a middle class, Sometimes the reason is hard to find, and that's one of the reasons why we should dig deep every day. Every day, write your reasons down. I write my reasons down every day. To tell you the truth, I am afraid to come on the live session, right? But you know what? It's the reasons that help push me forward. And it's a thank you which I receive from you guys, and the kind messages which I receive from you guys that push me forward. That's reason number one. And reason number two, I think I said this before. I grew up in rural Malaysia. It really hurts me to see some of my uncles and some of my aunties at the age that they should retire. They are asking niece and nephews for money, you know, and it really hurts me to see this. And I want everyone to have that dignity, to have the right disciplines, to maybe make sure that they have the disciplines to keep enough money so that they can retire with dignity. So that was my reason, you know. Yeah, so I know it's a heartfelt episode. I'm talking from heart to heart, and I really want all you guys to succeed. And that's one of the reasons why I come out, you know, every day. No, well, it's only just 2 days back to back, not every day. But the reasons are the things that push me forward. And these are the reasons that I want all you guys to succeed. So if you like this particular episode, please give me a bunch of thumbs up. I'm open for questions. I can see some live audiences. Okay, guys, thank you so very much. I really appreciate you coming on this live. And please write down on the comment section if you have any questions or if you have any kind comments. And I'd like to give everyone another shout out: Putra Milan, Putra Haizrael, Fatiha, and also Hafiz. Okay, thank you, Alpha. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate the thank yous and also thumbs up. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. Thank you so very much. Have a good day.